right, welcome to Goonie's World. My name is Goonie, also known as Colin, and I'm joined by Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello.
And Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean.
Hello, everybody.
And guess what?
What?
I'm not running anything today. It's so exciting.
Yes, I'm going to run something today, and it is very exciting. Because in real life, I like to run games a lot, but
We're going to primary, really. I mean,
Yes. Well, maybe it's because I have the biggest mouth. But anyway, though, we are going to play a game called The Spy Game, which you can find on Drive-Thru RPG for $1. Set the stage. It is sometime in the 1980s, and our game begins 6 stories beneath the Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., in a place called Annex X, which is the secret North American headquarters of Agency X. The agency's existence is known only to a very small handful of influential people in the world, and it's been around since World War II, and today is aligned roughly with the interest of NATO and the West in general. But it was formed to check an equally secret organization called the Cabal, which was founded by ex-Nazis and political criminals that sought to kind of destabilize the world after World War II, and they're still at it. They aim to topple governments and economics and things like that for their own nefarious purposes. But both Agency X and the Cabal maintain their secrecy by infiltrating other intelligence organizations when they can. They use their resources and influence their policies and operations. And so only very few agents work directly for the agency, and those that do are recruited on a case-to-case basis. It's not always the best and the brightest who end up working for the agency, but it's often those whose just fate has just brought them into contact with it somehow. And today, Niles, Agent Niles Thorpe.
Yes.
A veteran. Yes. He's been summoned to a meeting with Section Director Alexander Keene, deep in the heart of Annex X. So, Niles, you enter this large office, which is dominated by this huge mahogany desk, and there's models of U.S. and British sailing ships on the walls. And there are lots of telephones all over the desk, all in different colors. And Section Director Alexander Keene, who's your boss, he's older than you even, but he has a baby face, which gives him a strange, appearance. He has these haunting blue eyes as well, and he gestures for you to sit down in one of these big red leather chairs, and he's tapping out a pipe in this crystal ashtray. And Niles,
Yes.
Since we've never met your character before and it's our first game, can you just describe what you look like and a little bit about your background?
He is... I don't want to, copy Austin Powers too much. But, he was in the 60s, he was kind of a wild man, that was his prime. And he has since kind of aged a lot. And so he's still getting used to that. And as far as what he looks like, I don't know. He's he is balding. And I would say he just has dark hair, just sort of average. I don't think anything about him necessarily stands out.
Probably a good thing for a spy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Agent Thorpe, it's good to see you again. Welcome.
Likewise, yes.
How have you been keeping?
Oh, I'm doing fine, yes.
How's the hip, Niles?
It's in recovery. I think I'm good to go.
Well, yes. Now listen, Niles, I'd like to introduce you to someone, all right? And it's really not the agency's policy to work in a partners type of situation.
No, it's not.
That being said, you were a little slow in Jamaica last summer, and cost you 4 months in rehab. And we got new blood coming in, and you are a gold mine of experience.
That's true.
He's a young agent. I'd like you to work with him, show him the ropes a little bit.
Well, that's unusual. As you know, I am somewhat of a rogue.
It's true.
But if you're bringing in someone for me to, I would assume, I guess, mentor?
Yes, that would be one way to put it, yes. And in return, he's a young, fit fellow, and I feel certain he can watch your back and maybe avoid any more of those incidents like we had in Jamaica.
Well, he must be a very sophisticated gentleman, then.
He's one of the best young agents I've come across in all my years of doing this. Now, he was a bit of a surprise. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and have him come in. Rose, would you send in Agent Rigatoni, please? Right. Well, his door opens again, and a gentleman walks in and has a seat in a chair. And why don't you introduce what he looks like and maybe a little bit of his background?
So, he looks basically like John Travolta in Welcome Back, Kotter. He's got like the feathered, like long dark hair, you know, with the 80s feathering kind of going up. He's got like a black, like leather jacket, like a biker kind of jacket on. He's tall, and kind of like stacked, you know, like swole, you know. Yeah, so he's like looking around. He looks skeptical at this entire situation.
Agent Rigatoni, welcome. Come on in.
Hello, thank you, yeah.
I'd like you to meet Agent Niles Thorpe. You're going to be working with him.
Yes, Agent... what was your name? Rigatoni?
Yeah, Vinny Rigatoni. Don't you forget it.
I see you're already in character, doing an actor, just a role for future missions, I assuming?
What's this guy talking about over here?
Well, you have to understand, Niles is old school. He's old school, but no, this is Vinny himself. It's not part of a role.
I see.
But anyway, fellas, I'm gonna need you to work together. You got strengths that can complement each other, and I'm gonna tell you all about your mission. First of all, you may smoke if you wish. And he loads up his pipe and lights it, puffs it a few times. Do your characters smoke?
Yeah, Vinny's got like some unfiltered Camels.
All right.
He's gonna pull one out and smoke it.
I'm probably a pipe smoker as well.
Okay, very well.
Yeah, you will be.
Here, have a fill of mine, he says, passes his fine tobacco across the...
Yes.
It smells like Cavendish.
Well, there are many worse things, many worse smells that have come from this office over the years, believe me.
No, that's
seen a lot.
Pleasant. Never mind. I'm not much of a pipe smoker, right?
I've heard of Cavendish.
Clearly, you all know more about pipe smoking than me, a dedicated pipe smoker.
Yeah.
But it's not pipe smoking I asked you here today to talk about. Have either of you gentlemen ever heard the songs of humpback whales?
Songs?
Yes, they're beautiful.
Whales?
Yes, the whales have
They
whale
fucking sing?
songs. Well, they're not songs as you and I might think of them, but some people find them
like
quite...
fucking Bee Gees.
Well, some people might find them a little bit more beautiful than the Bee Gees. Listen here. And he takes out this old school cassette tape player out of the drawer of his desk, and he presses play. And indeed, you hear this haunting and strange whale song. Now, he hands each of you a file folder, manila file folder marked for your eyes only. It's got like a seal on it. He gestures that you can open the seal. Inside you'll find a letter written by the eminent biologist Emile Gerard to the President of the United States. It's, let's see here, it's September, it's already a month old here. Now, the letter says, as you guys take a look at it, you can scan it, it says, Dear Mr. President, while tracking humpback whales in the North Atlantic last month, we recorded whale songs of a type never heard before. It seems the whales have a secret, and this new whale song is the key. I assure you, it rises to the level of a national security risk, or I would not presume to contact you. We're currently analyzing the whale song with our computers to confirm my hypothesis. I will advise you of our findings as soon as possible. And it's signed Dr. Emile Gerard, Center for Marine Studies, Boston. Now, unfortunately, Dr. Gerard's hypothesis has been given fresh credence recently because he's been missing for 36 hours.
The fucking Soviets.
Well, we don't want to jump to any conclusions, but my fear is that the Cabal may be involved. The truth is we don't know. If it is the Cabal, they're likely to be working through the KGB, but the day before yesterday, Dr. Gerard met with a Cambridge professor, Dr. Charity Pinch. She's a computer science professor, and she's been developing a computer program.
Woman computer science.
Well, stranger things have happened. But
Yes, I will have to agree and laugh just a little that it's quite amusing.
Well, don't laugh when you meet her, because you're going to be meeting her soon. He was meeting with her, Dr. Gerard was. She was developing the computer program that was going to analyze these whale songs, which were clearly abnormal. Anyway, after this meeting, Dr. Gerard said he was going straight home, but he never made it. Now, we believe he's been kidnapped, not just disappeared entirely, especially after this letter to the president. And he has the whale song with him. Now, Professor Charity Pinch has a copy of the tape. Now she fears for her own safety, and she'd like to turn it over, so she made contact with the Defense Intelligence Agency. We intercepted that communique, and so you will be going to meet her, posing as agents from the Defense Intelligence Agency. And
Defense Intelligence
yes, the
Agency.
DIA. And
So hold up. So she's writing a program on a computer
yes,
to analyze the whale songs?
That's right. See what they could possibly mean. Amazing what they can do with computers in the 1980s.
That's crazy.
And this was somehow a matter of national security?
Well, I would be as skeptical as you if not for the fact that Dr. Gerard has disappeared.
It's gotta be the fucking Soviets.
They've got their hands in a lot, just as we do, but we'll know more when you can get a copy of this tape. Now, Dr. Charity Pinch has, of course, insisted on meeting in a public place, so you'll be meeting her at the New Devon Mall in suburban Boston. Apparently it's famous for its butterfly garden.
Did
or
you
some
say
such thing.
Devon?
New Devon.
Yes, well, is that named after Devon of England? That's where I'm from.
That's an amazing coincidence.
Sometimes called Devonshire. It's in the southwest of England.
I assume since it's a suburb of Boston that you're very correct.
Yes.
At any rate,
Yeah, we used to be British.
I am British.
Well, yeah, but I mean Americans, you know.
yes, well, one of the strengths of Agency X is
Where
that-
are you from? You sound like you're from the ghetto, or...
The ghetto? What's this fucker talking about? No, man, I come from Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that
I was
place.
born in the USA.
Of course, New Jersey also, of course, named after him. But we digress with this whole naming business. And one of the beauties of Agency X is that we can recruit from all over the world, being an international organization. And at any rate, we have to find out whether this really is a national security issue. If the whales are all suddenly saying something different that's making eminent biologists stand up and take notice, we have to know what it is. We don't know what the whales are saying, but we would like the whales on our side, gentlemen. So, go ahead and requisition any gear you think you might need to take with you. Now, you guys can pick 3 things from the list of gear right here and write them down in your inventory. 3 things that you think you might want to have with you. And for those of you listening, there's a simple list of spy gadgets such as cigarette dart guns and disguised garrote and some such things like that. Also, you'll want to come up with fake names to use for your Defense Intelligence Agency badges. We'll have all those things made up for you within the hour, says Keen.
Can mine just be Tony Rigatoni?
Whatever you're gonna feel comfortable with. That's the important thing about a good false identity. Something that will roll off the tongue for you. And I do hope you enjoy butterflies, because apparently the butterfly gardens at this mall are the wonder of the Eastern Seaboard, for butterfly aficionados, that is.
All right, well, I'm going to take one of these pins that looks like or a grenade that looks like a pin.
Fine. Be careful with that. Make sure and click it twice before you throw it.
Is that really wise to give this young man a grenade?
He's been through our most rigorous training, and despite that he may be a little unorthodox, we have utter faith in his abilities. In fact, he reminds me a lot of the way you used to be long ago. You remember swinging London, don't you?
Oh,
Yeah, you's probably shagging all the ladies.
I bedded many, many ladies in my day, and I still do.
Yes, there was a day when his activities were something of an embarrassment to some of us, but nevertheless, he always got the job done. And you do well to remember that, young Vinny. Learn what you can from this man. Anyway, what else did you take there?
A mini cassette recorder, and I'm gonna take this cigarette that is really a dot gun. I'm gonna stick it in my pack of Camels here.
Fine, that's an excellent idea. Rose, mark that off the inventory, please. You've never met Rose either. He just speaks to Rose through an intercom on his desk. And now, Agent Thorpe, what will you be taking with you out of the equipment bay?
False ID, syringe with sodium pentothal,
Yes.
and tracking device.
All right, I'll remind you to use that syringe responsibly. Not for extracurricular activities now.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Sure you remember Lithuania, 1974?
Yes, well, it's no longer acceptable to use this on
Your dates.
yes. The times are changing. It's a very who's the president? Are we going with
Reagan.
Okay. Yeah, that Hollywood Reagan.
Just don't even get me started. Nevertheless, he's been... Don't even get me started, as I say. Now, after you guys check out your equipment to get your IDs together for you, and soon enough, in fact, only about 2 hours later, your 727 Stratojet touches down at Logan International in Boston. And a rental car is waiting, a gray Ford LTD. And 45 minutes later, you're approaching New Devon Mall, which is one of the largest indoor shopping malls yet constructed, with 3 levels, 300 shops. All of it surrounds this central butterfly garden. It's outdoor. You know, the central part is open to the air. And this butterfly garden is famous all up and down the eastern seaboard. And it's mid-afternoon. It's the very beginning of September. And so all the teenagers are out of the mall. Nevertheless, it's still pretty crowded. And as you park the LTD and walk in, and all the sights and sounds and smells of a huge 1980s shopping mall are all around you. And near the entrance that you walk through, when you walk in, is a huge arcade. And yeah, we
Aladdin's
all
Castle.
yeah, lights and sounds and everything from there. And that's sounds are still in the background as you walk past this huge pyramid of Puma tennis shoes that are sitting up front outside of a Foot Locker, and this kid's walking out wearing ET shoes from Buster Brown, and there's a kiosk selling great big gigantic pretzels, and this music fills the air. Anyway, there's an overweight mall security guard walks by, but doesn't even do a double take. He seems fairly oblivious.
Look at that fat ass.
Yeah, but did they have one of those places with the giant fucking cookies?
Yeah, they do. The giant cookie place.
Yeah,
it's down on the food court.
I bet that's where that fat ass eats all the time.
Oh yes, he's quite the lord ass.
Yeah, well, the manager gives him free cookies to, keep an extra eye out. He's not going to let anything happen to the giant cookie place.
Yeah, that's true. It's like paying protection.
That's true. Anyway, keeping an eye out for the giant cookie place, you make your way, I assume, to the butterfly garden where you're supposed to be meeting Charity Pinch and getting a copy of the Whale Song tape. Now, the butterfly garden's very easy to find because it's right in the center of the whole mall. And you have to go down an escalator to get to it, and you go past the Orange Julius stand and the food court. Oh, there's a giant cookie place for future reference.
Yeah.
You want to get a giant cookie before you go outside?
Fuck yeah.
All right.
That's not professional. Well, well, maybe for you it'd fit, but I can't be seen eating a giant cookie.
Well,
I've got a lady to seduce.
you're not gonna seduce.
Welcome to Giant Cookie World. What kind of giant cookie can I treat you with today?
I just want a chocolate chip with like the fucking M&Ms in it, you know?
Marty, give us the classic. All right. Classic plus M&Ms. Well, soon enough, you've got your giant cookie. It's got some like wax paper you can hold it with, and you push your way out into the butterfly garden. You, distinguished. I can see that. That'd be a good scene. I can see you walking out the door, looking like a badass spy. Maybe it's in slow motion, and then behind you comes Vinny with the giant cookie.
Like, imagine
full.
what I'm imagining is the Niles. Niles, is your name? Niles, yeah.
Yes.
It's like in a suit, maybe with like a bowler hat or something, and Vinny's just like walking behind him with a leather jacket with jeans, with like ripped fucking knees and a fucking cookie.
Giant cookie. Getting crumbs everywhere.
Yeah, he's probably not what Niles expected at all from a bright young agent. He's among the best that the agency's ever trained.
Now when we meet this woman, we're supposed to be in character.
You're supposed to be in your defense intelligence agency agents. That's who she contacted. And like the agency that you work for normally does, is they monitor traffic and get to things before the DIA ever knows about it, that sort of thing. But you can see why this butter garden's famous for butterflies, because they are all over the place. And this is a big octagonal open area with like mall all around it on all sides, and 3 stories above you, of course, it's open to the sky. And there's a playground, that little kids are playing on. There's benches and little walks. And then there's this area of about a half acre with pebbles and little mirrors and all the little things that butterflies like. So they're flittering all around. And there's this stunning, gorgeous redhead with glasses and a summer dress sitting on a bench near the butterfly garden. And she's clutching this large purse so tightly that her knuckles are white. She's looking about nervously.
They gave us IDs from the DIA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like that's probably her. She certainly looks like she's got all the body language of waiting for someone and being frightened.
I don't think that's her. I think I was expecting a lesbian. From what I've been told, is some kind of scientist. This woman is much too is much too beautiful.
I think this has got to be her, man. I'm gonna approach her. And I like get out my DIA ID.
Oh dear.
And I walk up to her. Pardon me, ma'am.
She's startled, but she's yes.
Were you expecting to meet somebody?
I'm not sure you're the person I was expecting to meet.
But I am.
Oh, you have your ID out.
Yeah, I'm Tony. Yeah. I'm Tony Rigatoni from the DIA.
I'm sorry he startled you.
You look like more what I imagined.
Yes, of course.
But you're also very young and fit.
Well,
but you're so distinguished.
That's true.
Well, I'm Dr. Charity Pinch of the Cambridge Computer Labs. I have something to give you. I feel safe here.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I feel safe here at this butterfly garden. That's why I wanted to meet here. I've been coming here ever since I moved here. I've been coming here for years.
We almost didn't recognize you. It was your glasses that gave you away.
Oh, really? Well, she takes them off all of a sudden. And she's got bright blue, big baby blue eyes like Fay Ray. And anyway, well, as I was telling the man on the phone at the DIA, I was trying to help analyze these whale songs that my colleague Dr. Gerard brought to me. We put the whole lab at our to work on it, but it's a complex problem. We need DIA computers, and after his disappearance, I just don't feel comfortable taking this. Now, what do you guys know about humpback whales, anyway?
Well, I know a lot. Actually, I'm a whale biologist.
Oh, that's good. They sent the right man then. You don't look like a whale biologist.
Well, you don't look like a computer programmer.
I guess that's true.
However, if you have these recordings, we need to take them back to DIA headquarters and have them analyzed by our mainframes.
Oh, of course. I have them right here in my bag.
You would just hand them over? You don't want to be convinced to hand them over? This is highly unusual.
No, I called. I don't want anything to do with this anymore. It's getting dangerous. There's something about those whale songs. When I heard them, they're very... Now, I'm no whale expert, but I've heard whale songs, and I have an interest in marine biology. That's why I'm friends with Dr. Gerard. But these whale songs are very complex and insistent sounding. And, usually just the males are the ones that we hear singing. We've always assumed it has something to do with mating. But all of the whales of all ages and genders, they're all singing. They're very insistent. Anyway, that's what Dr. Gerard said. It was very haunting, the sound of it. So, this butterfly flies up into her face, and she brushes it away, but suddenly zooms in and lands on her face for a moment, and she swoons. Just a second the butterfly lands.
I pinch it by the wings so it can't take off again.
Reach out and pinch it. Ooh! Well, that's it's a fast little tiny butterfly. Why don't you make a body roll as you reach out? Yes. And Ryan is rolling a 7 or less on a D10, and he rolled a 2. And so, zip! You've got just what you wanted. She stays awake just long enough to look surprised, and then slumps over into your arms.
All right.
There on the park bench, and you're holding what looks like a tiny little robotic butterfly. She has a little sting on her cheek.
I haven't heard of this technology before.
Fucking robot butterflies. Fucking Russians, man, I'm telling you.
I don't know if this is Russian. We'll have to analyze this robot and see. And it's very advanced by the looks of it.
Yeah, why don't you pick up the broad and we'll gosh, I don't even know where to take her. To hospital, maybe? She's been poisoned or something.
Well, you could try to figure that out. You're gonna look at right now. She just looks like she fell asleep, but it's hard to say.
Does she? I'm gonna look and see. Does she have a little puncture wound?
Well, when you lean in to examine it more closely, you see there's a little hand reaching up from behind the bench towards the purse.
Well, I'm gonna grab the purse and simultaneously to reaching out and grabbing at the purse, I'm gonna dive at the arm.
Well, that sounds like a body roll, but what do you do? And you guys see that the arm is connected to like an olive skin, like Mediterranean-looking young woman, maybe in her early 20s, wearing a black blouse and black jeans. And
well, I'm holding her, so
yeah, she's
I'm
still
gonna have
leaning on you.
to set her down gently.
You try to grab the girl, but she slips out of your hands and runs towards a tree.
No, I'm running after her.
Yeah, and you chase after her. Meanwhile, as you look around and you see up on the balcony, again, there's 3 floors. They're all looking out onto the butterfly garden. Up on the second floor, there's a man with sunglasses, spiky blonde hair, and like a big shouldered jacket. You see him. You just catches, in your peripheral vision as you're laying her down, but then he flips around and runs off really quick as well. And so far, there's not been that much big of a disturbance, but you're running through a crowded area now chasing a lady, so a few people have started to stop and stare. And anyway, what did you say you were doing?
Well,
when I pointed that guy
I'm
out?
sitting, laying her down.
Yeah, just kind of gently laying her down on the bench.
I don't want to leave her, but I think I gotta go after this other guy that I saw.
Okay, well, meanwhile, you run off after him, but you're chasing this
Did I get the...
You've got the purse.
Okay.
So you're like running, dressed like you're dressed, carrying this woman's purse, running, except you're chasing the person. It looks like the opposite of a purse snatching scene.
I'm just gonna start yelling, "Hey, you forgot something! Ma'am, you forgot something!"
Well, she tears through this kid's play area and ducks around behind the merry-go-round and pulls out a Walther PPK and fires at you. And tag! Oh! Hits you on his gun. Looks like she's gonna hit you unless you can dive out of the way. Dive down behind the merry-go-round, which you do, and then she like swings the merry-go-round, so mostly just to be dramatic. When you pop your head back up, she's running over towards the slide. What do you do?
I'm not gonna start taking shots in a mall, so I'm gonna just run after her.
That's very good guy of you, because this is a child's play area. So you charge towards the bottom of the slide. She's actually running like she's gonna climb up the slide. You realize there's a tree that she can jump onto, like the branch, that she can just get up to the top of the slide. She can probably get up, out onto the roof itself if she gets into that tree. Anyway, meanwhile, you go chasing off after the spiky-haired blonde guy with the glasses, and he was on the second floor, like I said. The easiest way to go there's an escalator. But to get to the up escalator, you're gonna have to go all the way around to the other end. But the down escalator comes through here. Do you want to go up the down escalator?
Yep.
Well, there's this group of teens that must be skipping school because it's supposed to be school right now. But they're coming down, and you come. Hey, watch out, old man! Look at the crazy old man!
Shut up! Out of the way!
Elbow your way past them. They start being dicks about it, and they don't really shove you, but they just won't move their bodies. Make a body roll. See if you still got it in you to push past these kids. What was that strength you had back in the 60s?
Right on it.
Right on it. Whoa! That's a healthy old man. This is one of them.
Back off.
Well, you make it to the top. You get up to the top of the escalator. Step out. You look both ways, and you see him standing right in the entrance of Pier 1 Imports. And he ducks into it. Assume you run over there after him.
Yep.
Anyway, meanwhile, you've seen what she's done, climbing to the top of the slide. She's running. You said you're chasing her, right?
Oh,
yeah. She's running and you're running. Now, you're a little bit more athletic than her, my man. So let's both roll our dice. And, well, I'm afraid you had a critical failure and she has had a critical success.
Yeah.
So...
But zero's less than one.
Well, you trip over like a little brick that's edging the walkway and fall down. Not enough to hurt yourself, but gives her plenty of time to get up to the top of the slide. She grabs a little kid and pushes him out of the way. The kid's falls down the slide backwards. And then she jumps up onto the tree like a little Tarzan. And she's halfway up into the tree on her way up to the roof.
What's behind her?
Just empty space. Oh, right. Oh, well, if you were to shoot her from right now at that angle, maybe you might hit the edge of the roof. Worst case scenario, on a critical failure, you could shoot into a glass window,
But there's no innocent people.
No, because she's climbing up in a tree.
I'm just gonna shoot.
You got a good angle. All right. Crack! And you hit her. She's hurt. She might fall out of the tree, but she doesn't. She hangs on in the tree, but she's in no shape to be climbing, and she's... you can hear her grunting. By now, people are screaming and running out of the way. You see that great big mall cop over at the other end, and he starts coming towards you, but as you guys have already observed, he moves a little slow. It's probably only a matter of time before someone calls the police now, but you guys do have your IDs. Meanwhile... At the top, so you tagged her. She's up in the tree and she's struggling. Meanwhile, you see him duck into the Pier 1 Imports and you rush after him. And right when you walk in, this huge pile of wicker chairs and furniture just falls over. He's pushing it on you. When you run in, make a body roll and try to dodge out of the way. Oh, you did. Oh, wow. They say you're old.
It's muscle memory.
Yeah, he just dodged right out of the way, and this big pyramid of wicker chairs and end tables falls down, and he's running into the back where the employees only area of the Pier 1 Imports, and then he takes a shot at you. Boom, 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 boom.
How dare you?
That's really more like a crack, and he's gonna hit you if you don't dodge out of the way or duck. And again, that's a body roll, so you want to roll a 5 or less.
I will try to duck.
Yeah, they got the big pile of wicker chairs you can duck behind.
Oh no!
Oh no! Tag! Boom! Ah! You're tagged. maybe Alexander Keane was right. Anyway, just take a graze in the shoulder, but you're hurt. And there's no game effect on this because you're not dying yet, but you're hurt. You got a little bit of a flesh wound on the shoulder. So you can mark hurt on your character sheet, just so we all remember that.
I would have dodged that 20 years ago.
What do you do?
Now, does this tracking device I have, what does that look like?
Well, it's just like a very small thing. You can go plant it on somebody and then follow them around with a little receiver. It's really about the size of a wristwatch.
Okay, so I have to get, make touch contact, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, now do I have, just besides this stuff that we took, do we have anything else?
Yeah, you have everybody has a Walther PBK and a little communicator wristwatch.
Oh, okay.
Which I should have pointed out earlier, but...
Well...
It's a default for all characters.
He's in the employees
Well,
only...
he just ducked into it. He just ducked into the employees only in the back.
But he's not saying they're shooting at me anymore? Or?
No, he just
took
a shot and ran, yeah.
Okay, well, I will run after him.
All right, meanwhile, she's very slow. She's scooted her body away around the other side of the tree, but if you just want to keep shooting her until she falls out of the tree...
I do not want to do that.
Then there's not too many rolls needed there.
I want to get up because I tripped or something.
That's right. You don't want to lay there on the ground. Don't forget your purse.
Not forgetting my purse. And very quickly just say into my watch something like, "Niles, I had to shoot her. I had to shoot the bitch. I'm going to see if I can get her out of the tree." And then I'm going to run up the slide.
Tree.
All right, hop up into the tree. Well, when you jump on the branch...
I say, "DIA! Get on the ground!" Or the branch.
she's still pushing her way backwards. She's bleeding. You hit her in the side, and she's holding... You can see the blood gushing out, between her fingers. And she keeps... she's pushing her way back along another branch that's leaning up against the third story of the roof. So she's not stopping just because you're telling her to, but there's fear in her eyes. And you see she's hurt pretty bad.
Stop or I will shoot again, ma'am.
All right, make a soul roll for the strength of your personality here. Oh, critical success. She slumps, her shoulders slump. She tosses the Walther PPK onto the ground where the mall cop finally comes up and picks it up. And she puts her hands, she hops lightly out of the tree first and lands hard. And then puts her hands behind her head and you hop down afterwards. Meanwhile, you run after him and you see he's gone out into the service hallway behind the store, like the hallway nobody knows about, the public never goes in, and he's running down the steps. But again, he turns and shoots at you right when you stick your head out the door. Boom! But he misses. And it just... Do you want to take a shot back?
Yeah, if there's nobody...
No, it's just you and him in the service hallway. He's about to run down. He's going into he's gone to the end of the hallway and he's opened a door that is a stairway that will lead down into the food court or behind the food court. That's where he's trying to get to. But you have time to get a shot off.
I just kind of want to shoot him non-lethally if I can.
Well, you can, unless you can hit him in the knee or something like that.
Yeah. So what do I roll?
This is a body roll. And
no.
Misses and he ducks into the doorway.
Damn.
Now you can catch up and he's already made it to the bottom of the steps, but you see there's a swinging door at the bottom of the steps.
Yeah.
So he's just gone in there.
I'll follow him in.
The second you walk in, you hear this sizzling sound, and he's in the back of an A&W, and he's throwing the hot grease basket. He's hurled it at you. Dodge to get out of the way. Oh no!
Sevens.
Now luckily it doesn't hit you on the face, but it's like, and it's burning through your clothes, and you're already hurt, and you're starting to feel weak, and you start feeling your heart like you're dying. Like you're gonna get in serious trouble if you don't get some medical attention.
Damn it.
And then you look out, he gives you a smirk, a real smug look from underneath those black sunglasses.
You'll pay for this.
And then he hops the counter, brandishes his gun at the terrified employees, hops the counter, and starts to run away unless you.
Can I, try to throw this tracking device?
I think he's wearing it would just have to just somehow land on and get wedged in his clothing. So I think that's possible. I think it should be hard.
Yeah.
Which would be a -2, which would mean a 3 or less.
What is he wearing?
He's wearing a big black jacket with shoulder pads, like a suit jacket, but with the sleeves pushed up to the shoulders, you know? And it's got big shoulder pads and black sunglasses.
Any pockets at
spiky
all?
blonde hair.
On his...
Well, they got big pockets on the side of a sports coat, yeah.
Or on the... Does he have breast pockets?
Yeah, but he's running away from you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if you could aim and hit that.
Well, yeah, it's a long shot. I'll try to...
Not that any of this is too realistic, but...
Flick it on him.
Flick it, classic flick. My slow motion flick, and it's going to be hard. So that's 2 minus whatever your body is, so it's a 3 or less, but you never know.
Body.
Yeah. Slow mo... Oh, critical success.
Yes.
And it flies through the air in slow motion, pirouetting, and lands. Not even in the side pocket where it's easy to hit, but in the very almost impossible to hit breast pocket of his suit. And he's too busy brandishing his gun and scaring people, and he runs off. Meanwhile, I assume you guys meet back up in the mall security room, which is the first place the guy would have taken you. Whoa, he said, sure is the DIA right here at New Devon Mall. I never thought I'd live to see the day, says the mall cop. So what'd she do anyway?
Well, it's none of your concern. This is a national security matter, ma'am.
And she just sits there just absolutely sullen. What?
Are you willing to talk? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be...
I didn't even know we were supposed to say that. Yes, I did.
You didn't know about the Miranda law?
Yes, I did.
Well, he is British.
That's true. They say something different in Britain, probably. I don't know.
I think they do.
They say, what's all this, then? That's all we were required to say.
Hello. What's all this, then?
Hello, Governor. Would you like a barrister? Oh.
Or some vinegar on your fish and chips, sir?
Oh, malt vinegar, some best.
That's your right.
Well, look, I don't know much. I was just supposed to take the purse, all right? My friend's going to cause a distraction. I was going to take the purse.
Who hired you?
And what happened to the computer lady, by the way?
Oh.
Well, you guys would not have run off and left her. She's recovering nicely.
Yes.
She's
I
barely
also
coherent.
need to
Charity Pinch is her
recover.
name. She's lying down on the couch next to the water cooler in the security office, and she's what happened?
You fainted into my... You swooned into me.
Into you?
Oh, yes.
There was a robot butterfly, ma'am.
Yes, but I don't know if that was the reason why you swooned.
I told you I was in danger. You have the tape, right?
Correct.
Give me my purse back then, please.
Oh, I take the tape out of the purse, then I guess, and give it back to her.
Anyway,
You should have kept this tape in your cleavage. That is the standard method. You have a lot to learn, madam.
I suppose so. I did the right thing by calling the DIA, though. Thank God you guys came.
Oh, yes. I've got third-degree burns all over my body.
Oh, really? Yes, you do look terrible, and we're gonna have to get you some serious medical attention. He's obviously he's really messed up.
It's like all red and flaking off.
And he's been shot in the arm.
Yes.
And so EMTs have arrived by this time, and
I think I might swoon into your arms, madam.
Oh, that's cute.
No, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm barely conscious now.
You're so brave. Anyway, so you guys want I should call the DIA and get them out here?
No, I've been in communication with my. Excuse me. I've been in communication with my superiors.
Oh, right. Sure you have.
They're aware of the situation.
Anyway, the woman just sits there. So you gonna arrest me?
Yes, you were under arrest.
Look,
Wow.
I'll tell you, I don't know who it was. It was a man. He was big. He was the biggest guy I've ever seen. He had a thick
It was the security guard?
Get a thick
No.
what?
The
He had a thick
fat ass? You're under arrest.
Hey, says the security guard. I resent that remark. Anyway, she said, no, he had a tattoo on his neck. And that's it's just a black diamond. That's all it was. That's all I know. Come on, let me go.
Diamond.
So
Write that down.
this man hired you.
Yeah,
How much did he pay you?
$500.
To take the purse.
Yeah.
And
He was just, and he had another guy with him, a blonde guy, spiky hair.
That's the guy.
He had a little video game controller with him. I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, he was controlling the butterfly.
It looked like an Atari joystick.
how old are you, miss?
I'm 27 years old. Just had bad luck. That's all. Let me go. Come on.
Too old to be spanked, I guess.
Well, I'm afraid we're going to have to let the local authorities deal with you, ma'am.
That's right. Local authorities right here, says the mall cop, and he takes her back and puts her in his little mall cop jail cell. But by now, the actual police have arrived, and no disrespect to mall cops, they serve vital functions, and they're not all fat asses. But the real police get there, and they have no reason to disbelieve your DIA credentials. And Dr. Charity Pinch says, I'm so discombobulated. I don't know if I should drive home. Do you think you could take me back to my house? One of you gentlemen, I'll send my secretary back here for my vehicle tomorrow when I get to work.
We exchange knowing glances.
I hurt all over.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to say that you've already left an ambulance to go to the local hospital.
Well,
So I guess it's going to have to
I've
be.
got my LTD.
I guess it's going to have to be.
Otherwise, Niles would have taken her,
I'm
to
sure,
the
I'm sure he
bedroom.
would have.
had his way.
Well,
Or that's what he thinks.
once you get to the hospital, you're very quickly intercepted by agency personnel and put on a helicopter and flown back to Washington, where they get you into their finest facilities that they've got in Annex X, where they have medical capabilities that are beyond those of regular science. Meanwhile, driving through a neighborhood in Cambridge of red brick buildings all covered with ivy, and by now it's dusk, and you drive her back to her place. Do you think he'll be okay?
I imagine he will be. Yes, he's a very, very good agent, a very tough man. We have, and of course, at the. I imagine he was taken to a local hospital, then flown by a helicopter back to DIA headquarters, where he'll be treated by the finest medical minds.
Well, I hope so. Listen, I know you probably can't, but when they find out what those whales are saying, when those DIA computers finally crack it, would you tell me?
Absolutely. In fact, as I'm driving, I pull the tape out and I put it in the cassette player in the car and start playing it. And I say, well, as a whale biologist, I might be able to translate this for you.
Really? Just off the top of your head? She does look a little skeptical.
Well, I mean, not verbatim,
Well, of course not verbatim.
but I can get a sense of what I think the whales are trying to communicate.
Meanwhile, you're getting an extra long shot in your upper thigh. This is gonna hurt a little bit. And they're getting balms and salves and things like that put all over your burns, and being treated by a small army of doctors and nurses. Alexander Keene, section director, is standing behind a glass window looking concerned, watching your progress. Anyway, well, you guys sit in silence while you listen to the tapes a little bit. Do you tell her that you were able to figure out what they were saying? Because you can't, but it is a rather insistent. It sounds a little more intense than the whale song you heard in Dr. Keene, or in Section Director Keene's office.
Are we going to cue sound effects for this? For the insistence? Whale?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll let that go. So I would like to make a. You could make me do mind or soul, but I would like to attempt to, in listening, come up with some bullshitty answer that sounds like it might be convincing.
All right. Well, I think it should totally be, since it falls more into the realm of bullshit, I think that soul would probably be best. She's not a marine biologist either. So.
I can't translate this exactly, ma'am, but, and of course, we'll have to feed it into the mainframes back at headquarters. However, it sounds to me probable that the Soviets are involved somehow, and may be attempting to weaponize whales or train them or something.
Oh no, not the darling whales.
Yeah, that's what it's tough. I mean, again, we'll have to feed it into the computers and have them analyzed.
Don't let that happen. Promise me you won't let that happen.
Well, we will do our best. And up to and including, I would imagine, military intervention, but that's not up to me, of course. That the Congress and the President will have to decide on that.
Why does the world have to be so messed up? She says, and throws herself under your shoulder. And cries, probably just because of the pent-up frustration of the day. I mean, all the trauma of the day is finally starting to get to her, and she weeps on your shoulder. There, sitting in the LTD parked in front of her house.
Well, it'll be all right. In time, we will deal with these things as needed, but you're right, I'm afraid the world is a little messed up.
Meanwhile, you're lying in the hospital bed now. All the initial treatments are done. You're kind of bandaged up, and Alexander Keene comes in. So, it's Jamaica all over again.
Oh, I was so close.
Tell me you didn't pay too high a price. Tell me we've got a lead.
The last second I got my tracking device on the blonde-haired man.
Doctor, bring me Agent Thorpe's tracking device. Because they took off all your clothes and watch and everything. Yeah. He gives it back to you and you take a look at it. Well, there's a little dot it's going out over the Atlantic Ocean right now. Like he must be on a plane or something. Good God, he's on his way to Europe? No. He looks... Iceland? He's on his way to Iceland.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. We're gonna need to get... listen, you get rest. You get some rest. I'm gonna go interface with Agent Rigatoni. And listen, I think it's a good thing that you're still with us, my friend. There are a lot of excellent ways to serve from behind a desk the way I do. Something to think about.
Nonsense. I'm as fit as a fiddle.
I don't want to see
Not
you...
right now, but
I don't want to see you go the hard way in the field. But maybe that's the way the best and the brightest always go. The hard way. Keene leaves the room, turns the light off. You lay there in the dark, in bed, maybe you're feeling a little...
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
All right, and that's we're gonna wrap up Act 1 of our spy adventure. So
He's not gonna talk to me. What happened with the girl, the Goyle?
well, she I thought it was a nice fade out moment. She's crying on your shoulder in front of the house, and then the viewers can wonder whether you walked her to the door, or whether anything happened, so on and so forth.
No, I want explicit details.
For explicit details,
If there are
email.
girls there, I want to do that.
Well, Charity Pinch, like many girls in a spy thriller, is probably here for at least partially that purpose. The only question is whether she's, irrevocably attracted to
But look at the feathers in my hair.
fit, or perhaps though, the heroic dignified elder gentleman. We'll just have to wait and see who can win the heart of Charity Pinch.
It's gonna be me.
I don't think so, old man. We're gonna spit roast that girl.
Well, if you have any ideas, if you're listening and you have any ideas who she should end up with, please.
We're both fucking horrible people. I mean,
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're going to go ahead and sign out for this episode. So we will see you guys next time.